Have you ever peered through your window on a frosty morning to catch a glimpse of the hazy fog? If you wake up early in the morning, you can enjoy the fog on a winter morning. Imagine the lovely sight of the world dipped in glorious mystery as a foggy blanket is laid over us. Carl Sandburg's Fog is a short poem that compares fog to a cat. Introduction to the text. Fog is a very short poem consisting of merely 6 lines and is perceived as one of the best-known creations of Carl Sandburg. He beautifully describes the fog, which is a natural phenomenon. He compares the fog to a cat. He uses dual imagery of the fog and the cat. We will learn more when we go through the poem in detail. About the poet. Carl Sandburg was born in Galesburg, Illinois, on January 6, 1878. His parents had emigrated to America from North Sweden. They were extremely poor, and Carl had to leave school at the age of 13 to work odd jobs like laying bricks, dishwashing, etc. to support his family. When he was 17, he got admission in a small school, Lombard, in his hometown. There, Professor Philip Green Wright encouraged Carl's writing. He paid for the publication of his first volume of poetry, a pamphlet called Reckless Ecstasy, 1904. Soon, Carl moved to Chicago with his parents. He became an editorial writer for the Chicago Daily News. He soon gained popularity as an American poet, historian, novelist, folklorist, biographer, journalist, and editor. He won 3 Pulitzer Prizes, 2 for his poetry and 1 for his biography of Abraham Lincoln. Sandburg's account of the life of Abraham Lincoln is one of the most remarkable works of all times. Important works. During his lifetime, Sandburg was widely regarded as a major figure in contemporary literature, especially for volumes of his collected verse, including Chicago Poems, 1916, Corn Huskers, 1918, and Smoke and Steel, 1920. He published Rutabaga Pigeons in 1923 and Potato Face in 1930, leaving many other tales in the series unpublished. The text. Now, coming back to our poem, let us learn some interesting facts about it. Fog by Carl Sandburg was first published in Chicago Poems in 1916. He was inspired to pen this poem while he was walking near Chicago's Grant Park. He was on his way to meet someone and had some spare time, so he decided to author this short poem, Fog. To conclude, it would be right to state that this short poem is deeply engaging and visually appealing. Through the poem, the poet has successfully managed to create before us the clear image of the hazy fog. He has further drawn a comparison between the fog and a cat. Recapitulation. Before we bid adieu, let us have a quick recap. We introduced you to the poem, Fog, written by Carl Sandburg. We also learned about the poet and his important works. The poem Fog is a short poem consisting of merely 6 lines. The poet has made a comparison between fog and a cat, and he wrote it in his free time. The poem was first published in Chicago Poems in 1916.
Nature is full of surprises, isn't it? Is there anyone who does not like to spend time in a garden full of flowers or a hill station with a waterfall or watch a sunset on a beach? These are all beautiful and heartwarming experiences. The early morning chirping of birds, the crowing of cocks, the music created by the raindrops falling on the tin tops and the sea waves splashing on the rocks are mesmerizing experiences one can enjoy while being one with nature. Natural phenomena also affect our moods. We feel energetic on a happy day and lazy on a rainy day. We can use them to symbolize our mood. As a sunny day symbolizes cheerfulness, a foggy day can symbolize gloom. Carl Sandburg was a well-known American poet and editor. He is known for his love for nature that he expressed in his writings, especially poems. His poem entitled Fog describes the beauty of a natural phenomenon, fog, in just 6 lines. A winner of 3 Pulitzer Prizes, most of his poems were about Chicago, the city where he lived. The poem Fog is the shortest poem among his collection of poems. Fog contains a strong reflection about nature. Though the poem is only of 6 lines, it does have a deep and strong meaning. To understand the poem first, you should know what fog is. How many of you have seen fog? Let us first understand the science behind the formation of fog. Fog appears when water in its gaseous form, condenses. During condensation, molecules of water vapor combine to make tiny liquid water droplets that hang in the air. Fog is a kind of cloud that touches the ground. Fog forms when the air near the ground cools enough to turn its water vapor into liquid water or ice. Fog is visible in cold areas, cities, villages, forests, mountains, or in the sea. Now that you have understood what fog is, let's move on to the animation based on the poem Fog. In this animation, we will observe how fog covers the cities. In the first 2 lines of the poet describes the arrival of fog in the cities and harbor. He beautifully compares fog with a cat. Now, you may wonder how somebody can compare a fog with a cat. They are poles apart. Have you ever noticed the movement of a cat? Cats usually walk slowly and sway their body like a snake. They walk in absolute silence. There is no sound or signal, especially when it approaches its prey. This is the reason why cats are sometimes known as mysterious animals. Do you recall the poem Cavity, the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot? Let's move on to the poem. The movement of fog is compared to the movement of a cat. The fog covers the entire city and harbor slowly and silently and stays there for a very short period of time. Imagine a cat that walks slowly and stealthily, looks around and sits on its haunches in one position for a short period. Then very slowly it walks away from the spot without anyone noticing it. The same is the case with the fog and its arrival. The arrival is silent and unpredictable. It just comes in and engulfs the entire city. It stays on for some time and then vanishes. What message do you get from this poem? Any guesses? Let me tell you. In winters, when there is fog all around us, think of the difficulties that we face. Yes, it becomes difficult while driving or walking on roads due to low visibility. This may lead to many road accidents. Slowly, when the sun shines and the fog disappears, everything goes back to normal. In the same way, life is a combination of good and bad experiences. Some experiences fill us with happiness and some make us gloomy. These depressing experiences in our lives are temporary and will definitely change. Fog symbolizes the dark times in our lives and it vanishes after a short period. In the same way, the warm rays of the sun cover the land once the fog disappears. One needs to have the patience and perseverance to wait for the right moment. Never lose hope and keep going to achieve your goals.
Fog by Carl Sandburg. Now let us study the poem in detail and read it line by line. The fog comes on little cat feet. Carl Sandburg speaks about nature and its beauty in the poem. Fog is a natural phenomenon. Fog generally occurs in the winter season. In these lines, the poet compares the fog to a cat. He says that the fog comes like a cat. A cat always walks stealthily, and no one notices it. Similarly, fog also covers the atmosphere slowly and calmly, without attracting people's attention. The poet states that the fog has little cat feet, which evokes the image of an agile cat walking slowly and mysteriously. It sits looking over harbor and city on silent haunches and then moves on. As the fog moves slowly, it covers the entire city and the harbor. Now, the entire city and the harbor are foggy for some time. Here the poet says that it resembles a cat, which sits silently by bending its hind legs and looks around at the nearby places and things. After a while, the fog leaves the city and moves on. Fog is a natural phenomenon that does not stay at a place for long. It moves forward after a few hours and vanishes into the air. Once again, the poet compares it to a cat. Just like a cat, the fog leaves the place very silently without being noticed by anyone. The poet uses the metaphor of a cat to describe fog. He ascribes the qualities of a cat to the fog. The fog silently engulfs the whole landscape with its huge body. The fog is made out to be a living entity having liberty to do things. The poet points out that this natural phenomena almost seems deliberate, as though the fog is watching over the city that it has settled over. The word haunches once again brings forth the imagery of a cat. Haunches are the back leg area of animals. This once again emphasizes the feline quality of the fog. Tone and mood. The tone of the poem Fog is calm, mysterious, light, and playful. The fog appears quietly and sits there quietly, and finally goes away quietly. It is not possible to know when the fog will arrive or how long it will stay. It is unpredictable and independent. To conclude, it would be right to say that the fog has a mysterious aura that captivated the poet. The appearance of the fog is a mystery itself, and it makes the setting mysterious too, as it makes the place misty and hazy. One cannot really see what lies ahead, thus elevating the sense of mystery. Enchanting, isn't it? Recapitulation. Before we wrap up, let us have a quick recap. Carl Sandburg speaks about nature and its beauty in the poem. Fog is a natural phenomenon. Just like a cat, the fog passes through the city in a quiet and graceful manner. A cat is an independent animal that does not follow rules. The fog possesses these qualities too. The tone of the poem Fog is calm, inviting, mysterious, light, and playful. Hello students. Have you ever observed a cat walking? Slow-paced, careful, and super smooth. That's exactly how the poet pictures fog, comparing it with the movements of a cat. Let us critically analyze it, discuss the key themes, narrative style and techniques, the literary devices, and understand the message the poet wishes to convey. Critical analysis. The cat usually sits with its knees bent and looks around, slowly moving its head from side to side. The fog is said to cover the city for a few hours, which looks like it stays for a while and then moves on. The reader can very well relate the movement of a cat to the movement of fog. The poem is an extended metaphor. The poet chooses a cat instead of another animal because a cat is an independent animal. It doesn't follow rules. It slips in and out wherever it pleases, just like fog, which knows no boundaries. Cats are stealthy, moving in slow motion at times. Their movement is mysterious. The poem reflects Sandberg's interest in the natural world, and he beautifully captures a moment or two when the fog moves over the harbor waters. He animates the natural phenomena of fog through a metaphorical cat. Nature is full of miracles. The poet successfully portrays nature and its silent mechanisms. Unlike rain or thunderstorm, fog is silent and calm. It gives us a cozy feeling during the chill winters. Fog is personified as a cat to describe its movement. Main themes: wonders of nature. We as human beings are blessed to have this abundantly beautiful nature all around us. There are many things we are yet to learn about it. When we go deep into it, we understand it better. In this poem, fog is said to be walking and sitting like a cat. Carl Sandburg has beautifully compared the two different aspects of nature. When we read the poem, we can imagine the fog behaving like a cat and relate the two. The poet's keen observation of the natural phenomena and the ability to perceive beauty in ordinary events in nature, and his strong imagination, is noteworthy. Transient nature of human sufferings. Fog is a thick cloud of water droplets. In a foggy atmosphere, nothing is visible. Similarly, in life, each one of us experiences a phase when nothing seems clear. We are not sure of what we should do. Just how the fog comes and goes, our problems too are temporary and will come and go. Thus, never be afraid when problems knock at your door. Life is not a bed of roses. Problems exist in everyone's life. They are temporary. Like fog, all the problems will vanish from our lives. Patience and courage are the only qualities that can keep us strong. Narrative style and techniques. Do you think the title of the poem is appropriate? Yes, the title of the poem, Fog, is apt because it talks about the nature of fog. The poem is very short and written in 6 lines. It is divided into 2 stanzas. It has no rhyme scheme. It is written in 3 bars. Literary devices. Metaphor. The poet uses metaphor to compare the fog to a cat. He compares the characteristics of a stealthy cat to that of a fog. Enjambment. When a sentence continues to the next line in a poem, it is called enjambment. For example, it sits looking over harbor and city, on silent haunches, and then moves on. Imagery. The poet uses dual imagery of fog and a cat. The readers can imagine the fog turning into a cat. The slow movement of the cat is compared to the gradual covering of fog over a landscape. Like a cat, the fog moves at a slow pace and gradually covers the entire city and the harbor. The movement is not noticed by anyone. Personification. The fog is personified in the poem. It is given the characteristics of a living being. Example: fog comes and sets. Message: nature is unpredictable, just like life. We never know what adversity will befall us. It will give us no warnings, and we will have to power through till it passes. The only thing one should always remember are the lines by Theodore Tilton. Even this will pass away. To conclude, We can say that the poet speaks to his readers through the poem and asserts that this too shall pass. This should be the philosophy of our lives, and we must remember that nothing in life is permanent. Life may not be a bed of roses, but there is hope glimmering on the darkest nights. Recapitulation. We learned about the narrative style and techniques, the key themes, literary devices, and the message shared by the poet. Through the poem, the poet encourages us to be positive in life and understand that nothing in life is permanent. He has beautifully depicted the wonder of nature in the poem and compared the careful, slow-paced movement of the cat to that of the fog.